Woo! Here we are.
Mr. Darren Glide.
Oh, Mr. Mike Bartz, the winning man of the day.
My partner in crime. How you doing, brother?
Hey, check it out, dude. We didn't even plan this, but look at the shirts. Well, that's some funny business, right?
It's just strange, bro. I try to wear
Yeah.
something bright like Mr. Davis said, but
Yeah. Then you wear my clothes.
I went in my closet and realized I'm really prepared for a funeral.
Yeah, I do too. It's all black, right through it.
Black and gray. Yep.
Yeah, and the white stuff has a stain on it, So, hey, Mike, we're doing the secret tonight, but no Mr. D's with us.
Who?
All right. Well, hey, Mike, why don't you let everybody know again? Tell them what you got yesterday. Tell them what you got. Do some playground bragging.
We after 8 months of fighting CPS, we got our daughter back yesterday. They vacated the case. They closed the case, sent us to family court. So we're done with CPS. Boom. And I had my daughter all day yesterday and last night.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I watched her all day today as well.
That's so
my
great,
wife
man.
worked. And then my wife, when she showed up here to pick her up, informed me that I get her tomorrow afternoon.
Oh, nice.
Or tomorrow morning, and I get to keep her tomorrow night all the way until Saturday. So,
oh, sweet. So she's gonna watch Men in Trenches.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm a sneaker, and I'm gonna put a mustache and beard on her and put her on the show.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna need to get some more Sharpies, man, because you're gonna get grayer and grayer having that little baby around.
I tell you what, brother, boy, I didn't realize. I mean, it's been so long. I mean, it feels like it's been so long. But that little girl, when she left me, or when she left our house, she wasn't walking. I mean, she was she was toddling, but she wasn't walking. Now this little brat runs full tilt, bro.
Right, she's just cruising around like a little person.
Hey.
And I don't know if you know, but I'm 60 years old. I'm old. I can't do that stuff. And
hey, you'll only be 60 once, Mike.
But we spent the day. Yesterday and last night. Actually. Dancing in a room. We'd turn on the stereo system, surround sound, and her and I were dancing in the bedroom and twirling and just doing all kinds of silly stuff. So
yeah, dance parties are fun, man. Dance parties are real fun with the babies.
I hate to sound like, I hate to say
hopefully this gives people some hope, man. This gives everybody that watches this, because last night you ended that show saying that you were apologizing because of I forget what kind of remorse that you have, but hopefully this is hope for everybody to realize that there is an out, and there is a victory that is
in the military.
Possible.
We call it survivor's guilt. You feel guilty for surviving, and that's about what I was equating it to last night. Is I feel guilty because you lost your daughter. I mean you TPR'd. And you talk to Deidre, and oh my goodness, Deidre sounds like she's just fixing to just go off the deep end,
Yeah, it's hard, man.
And then there's people, I mean, like Armani tonight. I mean, we're going to hear her story, and I'm sure she's been fighting this a lot longer than I have. I don't know what the magic dust that we sprinkled on this was, but, my wife and I, we divide and conquered.
I guess it's called Davis.
Yeah, it cost her our marriage, but our daughter's not in foster care anymore. So, it seems to be worth it to both of us.
But it feels good anyway.
Oh my God, it's amazing, brother. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I don't want to come in here and just sit here and smile all night long. But I literally.
Oh, why? You know what? Some other brothers out there went from tears to smiles. That's probably helped them. All right, here we go. Maybe this. Lady.
Yeah, I'm not sure what just happened.
Oh, hopefully it wasn't bad.
Yeah, I'm like, let me just log back on.
You're live right now, so you're broadcasting.
Okay. So I got a couple questions. You want to ask me some questions?
Let me introduce you first.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Armani. I'm actually not sure of her last name, but I had to ask her 3 times how to pronounce her first name. So I'd be afraid to
Is that
mispronounce
like
her.
the suit, Armani?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
That's really good.
She is actually going to be with us tonight and tomorrow night with Mr. Davis, because Mr. Davis is the lawyer. He's the attorney. We're not. You know, all we can do is chit chat with you and
Give you the advice that we think that you can use that Davis would instruct
we
us
give
to.
you our opinion, but that's about it. And
Right.
and Darren's been fighting for how many years, Darren?
Enough. A couple years anyway. And
4
I fight
years or
strong
something?
every day in and day out, 24 hours a day. And that's no lie.
And so
That is a very, very, very strong fight. That is a long time.
It
and
sure is.
I fought for 8 months and I got my daughter back 2 days ago. So
I fought for. Well, mine's a little shorter than you guys.
we're
It's
yeah.
all right.
I was fighting with.
Tell us your story.
Okay, so October 17th, I went to the hospital in full term labor. I had the baby in like 20 minutes, I say. And they had me for a urine test at 9:58. And so I'm telling them like that's impossible. 9:58 a urine test and I'm full term labor pushing a baby. Like I remember the time at 9:46 I got there, and from 9:46 till I had the baby 10:11 in the morning. I just remember pushing the whole time I was there. So I'm like, I wish I could have used the bathroom, but I couldn't. Um, I'm at the hospital. Everything's fine, and I see this social worker coming in, and I'm confused. I'm like, hi, who are you? And she's
Wait
like,
1
oh,
second. Let me interrupt 1 second. Where are you located, dear?
I'm right now. I'm in Sacramento, but this happened in San Joaquin County.
So it's California, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, all the crazy stuff happens out there. So keep going.
Okay, so she comes in there and she's talking to me, and I'm like, what are you here for? Like, I'm not trying to be rude, but who are you? And she's like, I'm from CPS, and my whole face just like, okay,
And you're
what?
pushing at this time?
No, I wasn't pushing. I just had the baby.
Oh, okay.
And she's like, we're here about your urine test, and I was like, okay, what about it? And she was like, yeah, you were positive for opioids. And I was like, oh, I probably was. Like, I wouldn't put it past me. Like, I probably was. But if I did, it's because the hospital gave me the prescription.
Mhm.
And then she's like, no, no way. She was like, they wouldn't have called me if that was the truth. And so at this point, I don't want to talk to her. I'm like, leave me alone. I'm going to wait till one of my family members come, because now I feel uncomfortable.
Right.
And she just sat there taking a whole bunch of notes, and I was playing with my baby. And my mom came, and I'm like, okay, I feel very uncomfortable now, because I'm telling the nurse that, like, okay, the test that you guys did, I was like, what time did you guys take a test? And she's like, at 9:58 when you arrived this morning. I'm like, how is that possible? Like, you guys didn't take a urine test for me. And I'm telling them, like, actually, you didn't take a urine sample until 3 o'clock. And she's like, no, we don't make mistakes. I know what I'm doing. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So now I'm ready to leave. So I asked, can I leave? I'm supposed to get discharged, but when CPS came, it was like a big problem. So I'm like, at this point, I don't know what to do. So I just sat there, I waited, and then I waited for the doctor to come in. And I asked him, was I able to leave? The doctor told me, like, under medical advice, no, I shouldn't leave. And so they had police come, and I talked to the police. The police were like, just go with the program. And I'm like, what program? Like, no, I'm not going with the program. And so I started feeling uncomfortable again. I end up leaving with my baby, and I tried to go talk to CPS so they can do like an investigation, like how, like, so they can do their job really.
Wait, you
So
voluntarily walked back in their office?
yes, this is after I leave with the baby, and then
Right.
I knew that they're gonna be like, not really necessarily looking for
But
me, but looking for
when did
me
you
and the
realize
baby.
that was a mistake? When did you realize that was a mistake?
Me, when did I realize it?
Yeah,
I knew from the start.
that going back in their office was a mistake.
No, to go in there. No, I felt like I did the right thing going in there, because they needed to understand that they didn't do a proper investigation. Like, anybody with common sense, a kid would know. If I'm in full term labor, how can I be using the bathroom?
I understand. We
Okay.
keep going. So did you walk
Okay.
back in their
So
office and
okay, I go to their office and I'm trying to talk to them. Like, you guys, the hospital made a mistake. You guys should like look into that. But I'm like, I don't want to give up my kids, so I didn't go in there with my kids. And so when I walked out, it was like 10 people following me and my mom. And so I'm like, who is all these people? And they had served me some papers. They served me the papers, and I'm just like reading, scanning through it a little bit. And I'm like, what is all this BS? I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm reading it, and they had me as it was a warrant. I had a warrant out, and they were saying if I didn't return the kids to them tomorrow,
Bless you.
then this will happen and this will happen. So I went to the court date. I ended up being late because I really didn't know like where to go for court. So they was like, we can put you back on the board. So we went to court and they talked, and the girl that says like what happened, the CPS lady was like, baby was shimmering from opioids. And I'm like, baby was shimmering from opioids. I'm like, how is that even possible? So I just let them go along with their story, and the kids got detained. I went in for my son, and they ended up taking my son and my daughter. After they took the kids, I'm calling the hospital every day because at this point I'm getting really angry. Like it's their fault that um this is even happening. So I'm calling every day, and the lady called. I called grievance, and I wrote a grievance. And she was like, "You keep calling every day." She was like, "We're gonna put you as harassment for the hospital."
Mm-mm.
And so I was like, "Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna call every day." So I called one day in the morning at like 7 o'clock, and she was like, "Oh, is this Miss Chambers?" I'm like, "Yes, it's her." They was like, "We're so sorry, what happened, and we have something for you to pick up." I'm like, "My kids?" And the lady's like, "No." She's like, "We have a paper for you." So I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna go up there." And the hospital was so sloppy. When I went there, they told me that they gave me an apology letter. In the apology letter, they put mom called us and she basically told us that she was in full term labor, and when she called I wasn't able to go, like trying to save her, but I wasn't able to go over the information with anybody. So for the whole 7 days that my kids were gone, not CPS, the hospital wasn't like trying to help me. Like when I tried to get my medical records, they was telling me to go to this place, go to that place, and CPS extorted a lot of information. They just ran
Mhm.
with what they wanted to say. They said whatever they wanted to say, and it was like I have a whole book of the papers that they gave me of lies on lies on lies on lies on lies. And the CPS worker is just running with the statement that the nurse gave her that the baby was shaking from opioids, which is like impossible. And she's like just saying more stuff. And she said I had inaccurate supplies. And I'm like, how? You didn't even do a check. Like, you didn't do nothing. Like, they just took the kids and she just making up a whole bunch of stuff. And she had backed up to the fullest where it got to the abduction center. Like, I say it's kidnapped, but they're
Of
like, don't
course.
say it's that. No, it's kidnapped.
Of course it is. So they just came in. You tested. Why did they do a urine screen on you in the first place?
I I don't know. When my daughter, they didn't do that. I don't know. I don't
So
know.
the hospital though is the one that called CPS, right, and let them know that you had tested positive for opiates.
Yes.
Now you don't even recall doing the urine screen for the opiates. Is that what
No,
you're
I
saying?
did. I remember everything from like it was yesterday. I
Okay.
did do a urine test, but I couldn't use the bathroom all day after having the baby. I'm like, I don't feel like getting up. I just laid down. I laid down for from the time I went in there, 9:46 until like I want to say 3:23. I got up. The lady came in there. She helped me take a bath, and she not take a bath, take a shower. And then I told her like, okay, I gotta use the bathroom now. And when I used the bathroom, it was around 3 o'clock. So they didn't get a urine sample from me until 3 o'clock, but they had it labeled as 9:58.
Okay.
All right. Now, the bad thing is you're on the show with us. I mean, Mr. Davis is not here to help you right now, and I apologize for that. Number
It's
two,
fine. We're just all
number
talking.
two, the bad thing about being on the show with us is if you know my reputation at all, I'm known for being very blunt, very straightforward.
Hmm.
Uh, the number one mistake is you should never, ever chase CPS down to get information.
You know what? I am 22 years old. I didn't think that. I thought that I was reading the papers, right? And I'm like, oh, they're here to help. They're here to help.
Yeah.
And then my mom's like, no, they're not here
Hey,
to help
Darren,
you.
didn't you think DSS or CPS was there to help you when they knocked on your
Yeah,
door?
and the court was all the legal and everything with like that was going to work in my favor. Justice was going to prevail. Of course. Yeah, it doesn't happen with CPS.
Yeah, it doesn't. I had to learn the hard way.
Yeah, my wife, when our case started, thought the same thing. She felt hook, line, and sinker that they were here to help and reunify the family and put the family back together and just make things all, sunshine and rainbows.
Right.
They're not.
Totally the opposite.
You're absolutely correct.
And
I'm sorry at your age you had to learn that. I mean, I wish you had somebody there that could have protected you.
I was all believing them, like, oh yes, they want me to get my kids back, yes. And then when I'm texting my worker every day, she's not helping me. I'm like, are you here to help? What are you doing?
Yeah. No,
they failed a court order, and I was supposed to see my kids within 5 days. And I even was trying to be nice and count the business days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I had spoke with somebody, and they were like, we're trying to help you, but if you don't be honest about the opioids, there's nothing we can do about it. So I'm like, what makes you even think opioids? Like, you didn't even do a proper investigation. You're running off he say and she say.
Let me ask you straight up. Are you getting high?
Huh?
I said, let me ask you straight up. Were you getting high?
No. No.
Good things. The good thing is this. I don't know how much you watch this show, but you know Okorie Okorocho that we talk about all the time? Yeah. Have you watched this show with us?
What do you call him? O-O?
No, I really don't watch it. I've been watching it the last couple of days. Like, I watched it already yesterday. I think I said hi. I'll tune in. I'll get the notifications on my phone. So, like, I'll just tune in every once in a while.
All right. So there's one episode on here. If you go back, it's probably about 2 months ago. Mm-hmm. And the guy's name is Okorie Okorocha. And he is the leading toxicology lawyer in the country, I would say. Right? I mean, the guy is he's just a genius. Yeah. Now, what's good for you is this. There's a difference between a urine screen and a urine test. Now, most likely what you were given, well, this I don't know. Do you know if you were given a urine screen or urine test?
I don't. That I don't know.
Okay, well, this is something that you need to look into because urine screens are not admissible in court. Urine tests are. The urine screens, if you tell your lawyer and they do their do you have a lawyer?
No, actually, I was going to do a consult with Vince.
Okay, good. That's good that you're going to do that. But you're already into this a little bit now. How long have you been involved with this?
Since October?
Probably like 10 months now.
Oh, okay.
10 months?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're way far into this. You should have had a lawyer Have you had a lawyer at all?
No, I didn't have a lawyer because everybody I will talk to, they don't want to deal with the substance. Like when they hear family law and if they hear family law and they hear about the drugs, they're like, no, automatically no. They're like,
you don't deserve it.
You didn't get a court-appointed attorney?
Huh?
You didn't get a court-appointed attorney?
Oh, I did. I'm like, if she's going to help me, I can just do this myself.
Susan Atkins says that it's most likely going to be a screen where it was done at the hospital. Test, I would still just say double check, and thank you for that, Susan. She's probably right because we have some pretty good people that follow us and watch our stuff. Player Mike Unlimited. Mike, you were always trying to get on the show with us, man. Are you available tonight to get on with us? So make sure you check into that. Secondly, Mr. Davis is going to say, whoa, lawyer. Now, you probably can't. I mean, can you afford to get your own attorney?
I can, but I can make a way.
Okay. I mean, that's
what I love about your attitude. You just seem like a scrapper. Let's do it.
Yeah.
That's what I love about her. She just seems like she's ready just to throw hands. I mean, let's do it.
Yeah.
So make sure
that fight wasn't easy with CPS.
Yeah, make sure that you get in touch with Mr. Vince tomorrow at 888-888-6582
I
and
will.
talk to him.
They email me all the time. I actually got Vince's number.
Okay,
I got
good.
his direct line.
Okay, good.
That man is
Oh.
Superman. The man runs around with a red cape on. I'm telling
I,
you, he is. But listen to me when I give you this advice. When you're talking with Mr. Davis, shut up and listen, because the man has words that are gems. You just gotta listen for him.
I know he said, I was on the phone with him. He said, "You're really smart." He said, "But look, let me talk now. Don't argue."
Yeah, that's Mr. Davis. But he's got words in it. He's got strategies that are stacked from the floor to the ceiling. He's been doing this for how many years? 38 years.
30,
Yeah,
yeah,
a lot of
somewhere
years. He
between
told me,
34 and 37. It's a little range of
Yeah,
window there.
so he's probably seen your case maybe 4 or 5 times. If he's seen it once, he's probably seen it at least twice. So he's probably got a strategy in his back pocket for you. All right.
right. And then I'm like, I just want to sue for like, first, I'm all like, okay, emotional
Oh, yeah.
distress, this and that, and this and that. I was like, $1 million. And he was like, no, I don't do nothing under 10 million. I was like, oh my gosh.
Who said that?
Yeah, he don't do nothing. They don't take cases under $10 million.
Where?
Vince, that's what he told me. He don't do no cases under $10 million. Yep.
Mr. D said that?
Yes, he did. Okay.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Yes,
So,
he did.
what else have we Brenda, you're absolutely right. Have they come? They've come to your home. They came in because Brenda says right here, never let those sorry old boys into your house under any circumstance. Force them to get a warrant. I know what I speak of. Yes, Brenda, you're absolutely right. Do not let them pass that threshold. Don't give them that jurisdiction. Don't let them come in.
They never came to my house because my county was Merced, and it's like out of their jurisdiction in Stockton. Like, and Merced wouldn't take the case, so Stockton just pushed through with it.
Oh, why wouldn't they, right?
Right.
Wow. Wow.
Oh.
That might be something too that you want to look into when you get a lawyer, is the whole jurisdiction argument.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sticking with, if you hadn't gone up to the DS or CPS building, they wouldn't have been able to serve you with any papers and force you to make a decision.
I know, but the only reason I went up there is because
Oh, I know. You thought you're doing good.
yeah,
Right.
and
but,
that night
but it was
they
a
had
setup.
went,
It was a setup.
yeah, that night they had went to my grandpa's house.
Yeah.
And they used the hospital gave them an old address that I had on file.
Yeah.
And they used that old address on file, and they went to my grandpa's house like with a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then my grandpa called me, and I'm like, oh my god, that's so embarrassing. Like,
Oh yeah.
A lot of people that come on that show say, "Well, I thought they were here to help."
yeah, I was reading their thing all night, and this is when I had my kids. I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, the first thing they want to do is put you in the home, and my mom's like, no, they don't. I'm like, Mom, it says it's right here online. I'm looking at it, and the next day I was like, oh, excuse me.
Yeah. Lesson learned, huh?
Yeah, I'm like, they can
Yeah.
show their butt for real. They can.
But one thing we've always said is, do you get a jury trial if you shoot somebody in the leg? Yeah.
What did you say?
Do you get a jury trial if you shoot somebody in the leg or rob a bank? Yeah,
That
you get a jury, right?
I'm not sure.
Well, you do. All right, they give you 12 people that you tell your story to.
Mm-hmm.
In our court, our CPS court, no, you don't get that. All right. And now, to me, it was a life sentence. When they took my daughter away from me, I'd rather them throw me in prison. And
Mine's felt like the death penalty.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
it. There you go. That's it.
I mean, it was that painful and it hurt that deep. I was like, why don't you just throw me in prison? I mean, at least I'll get 3 hots in a cot.
Yeah.
Right, when you see that they have so much control, I don't know about you guys, but it made me think so evil. I'm like, I gotta stop thinking so evil. Like, it's not good.
It's called gaslighting. They gaslight you right into thinking that you did this terrible thing. When you
Yes,
did,
and then the lady's like, you can just do classes, and I was like, classes for what? Why would I'm not gonna do any classes and
so
waste my
are
time
your
or
kids
nobody
with
else's
family
time.
members, or are they in a strange foster home? Where are they? Do you know?
They're back with me.
Oh, they're back with you.
Yes.
Okay, so what are you fighting then?
You said what happened?
No, what are you fighting?
You said what am I fighting?
Yeah.
For justice. I need.
Oh, you want
I
justice?
never.
This is family court. You're not going to get justice, woman.
Right, wrong place for that.
Wrong place for
I
justice.
think I will. They've had my kids for a long time.
No, I mean, you can file lawsuits and all that kind of stuff, but if you've got your kids back, girl,
Don't let them go again.
You better kiss them and get them and move the hell out of that county. I mean, get out of there.
I never stayed in that county.
Wow.
I never stayed in the county. That's why it was just like so confusing to me.
Yeah.
So where are you at? Where are you at now in your case?
The case is closed?
No. Well,
No.
Somebody from CPS called me, and I think I don't know I don't know who it is. They called me and they told me that they can reopen the case. And I'm like, reopen the case for what? I don't know if they're bull stuff. I'm like, with CPS, I don't know. So I really don't answer their calls. I really don't.
There you go. Now you're learning. You don't answer their calls. You don't answer
Give
the
her a
door.
cupcake.
You
I don't
don't
really
answer the
answer.
calls. You don't answer the door. You don't
Right.
walk out to their building and see how they're doing either, woman. Don't do that.
I know. And then another thing was when they took my kids, I gave them clothes and diapers and everything that they needed. And so I was going to the office every day after I got them back. I was going to the office every day, and I was like, "Hey, my kids' clothes, you guys." And they're like, "Oh, the people that they were with, they lost them." I'm like, "Well, they need to find them."
So how did you end up with your kids back? Do you fought the process and you won, or what?
No, I called some number, like the CPS hotline number. I went in there, called this number, and I showed them the apology letter.
Oh wow.
Never heard of that.
Yes.
What now? You posted an apology letter for what?
An apology letter for lying, saying I had opioids in my system.
Like I said,
It worked.
double O.
It worked. I'm not gonna critique it all. I mean, it worked. I mean, there's a lot of people that shake their head at me when I go to court too. So, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I'm like,
I don't
and
judge.
the judge, when I went in there, he didn't really have like nothing to say. And he was like, "Yeah, kids detained." And then I think he felt stupid, and he's all like, "Oh my God, why didn't you guys do your research?" And I'm like, "Why didn't you do your research, you idiot? You just signing off papers."
Yeah, you probably don't want to say that to him though.
No.
What does the judge? What did the judge ask for services of you?
Parenting classes and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, classes for.
What else besides
Do
parenting?
you know what
classes?
they are specifically?
Honestly,
Hey,
I
there
don't
she
know
is.
what they are because I never really cared to know about them.
Okay, now this is the thing. This is why you need an attorney, because this is very important. Because no matter what you do or what you think, going down the road here, the TPR is going to be coming, or whatever. So you need to know where you are in this case and know what things you are, because they're going to find out that you haven't done what they've suggested of you, and then they're going to come back and they're going to hit you again. So I mean, you need to call Mr. Davis tomorrow, and you need to get yourself set up with a lawyer. That's what needs to happen, for sure.
Yeah.
Familiarize yourself with the term minutes, because Mr. Davis is probably going to tell you go get the minutes from your last hearing and anything since then, because that's important information to have. So familiar.
And what's the business? What's that?
It's actually what happened in court, or what happened when you weren't in court.
Like a transcript.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not transcript. It's a breakdown of what the judge signed.
I have that.
Everything since your last hearing.
Yes.
They put stuff in there all the time. I got 3 of them the other day.
I just went and bought a package for $53, and they printed all my papers out. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay, good. Yeah, just I mean, because he's probably going to ask for copies of that.
I seen him a couple.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Davis is very thorough. So just be prepared to, bob and weave and ask how high you need to jump because he'll take care of you. But you got to follow him.
Okay.
Sweet. All
He's
right.
Superman.
Well, we'll
I'm
see
telling
you.
you. If you're able to get Superman, do it. He looks like
Hopefully.
Clark. He looks like Clark Kent, but he is truly Superman. I'm telling you.
Hopefully.
All right. Hey, so we'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow night we'll have you, but we
coming
got
on the show
Margaret.
tomorrow?
She's here with us now. She's going to take care of Margaret. We'll see you tomorrow night. Be ready for Mr. Davis. It'll be exciting because you'll get the real lawyer and the real thoughts. But be prepared because he's going to be gunning.
Armari.
Thank
Okay.
you, Darren.
You guys have
Hi,
a good
Margaret.
night.
How are
Okay?
you?
Armari, you're a rock star. Keep it up. I love the attitude. Keep
Thank
fighting.
you.
Girl. Keep fighting. I love it.
Okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Hi, Margaret. How
Hi,
are you doing?
How are you guys doing?
We're all right.
good.
How you been?
I'm just trying to get on track of a case. I'm not in a case right now. I'm just want my daughter back. It's been like I told you guys the first time I was on there.
Yeah.
It feels like it's been, 14 years in and out, in and out.
Yep. Are
And
you making any headway?
Huh?
Are you making any headway?
Well, actually, my son, if you guys read all my comments, he's 18. Well, no, he's going to be 18 in November.
Yeah.
Yep, and he moved out of my sister's house, which he
So you'll be able to see him again then.
I do see him. He's getting on with his life. He's working at McDonald's. He's
Oh, good.
Yeah, but like when he first got out or whatever, he went on this criminal rampage.
Right. Well, let's hope that he's contained that down. Hey, Margaret, what advice do you have for people? I know you dealt with this for a long time and you've held it. What advice do you have for people out there?
Well, like the number one thing is don't let them in. Don't give them names. And anytime they don't like that you're pushing them away. Right?
Uh-huh.
So they'll try any little trick to get you. And how they got me was they were after me since my oldest one that's now 17.
Yep.
Since he was 2.
Wow.
I got 3 administrative hearings.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime my mom said, "Oh, they're looking for you today." And she won't tell them where I was, but then they catch you.
Right.
I had a daughter. Why I put that? My daughter was kidnapped from the hospital. She literally was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What happened was they found out that I having another child, and they don't like that. I don't know how they found out. And they were right there. I got so panic stricken. They wouldn't even let me. The nurses wouldn't come in to relieve me to go to the bathroom because I had my daughter in my hand.
Right.
And so with the ankle bracelet thing on her foot, I just went to the bathroom anyway, and it shut down the hospital. And I heard the announcement that there's a missing child, and they locked down the hospital for 2 hours.
So we know that works then. So that's good.
Sometimes in a good way or a bad way.
You got to bring some wire cutters.
Yeah. And so anyway, so they came talk to me, and I wouldn't get out of the bathroom, and I didn't want to give up my little girl. And they said, and so if I didn't hand it to my mom, they said, "Well, your mom's here. Calm down. We're not taking her today. Just calm down." Will you please lower your voice? Oh, sorry. Anyway, so they calmed me down. I got to take my daughter home. Had her for 3 months, and then her father had MS and kind of dropped her. So
Oh,
she
yeah.
ended up. So she ended up in the hospital, and so
Right.
it turned into it was abuse.
Yeah.
Hey, Margaret, let me ask you one question. Where are you located, dear?
Utah.
Okay. Go ahead. That's all I want to
Anyway,
know.
okay, and so they worked on it, and what they did was I took her to one hospital close to my house, but then they life flighted her to Primary Children's Hospital.
Oh, wow. So it was a bad drop. It wasn't just a little scuffle. It was a bad thing, huh?
Well,
Bad
her
incident.
head, yeah, get this. I was coming home from work, and when I came home, her head was ballooned, you
Oh,
know,
my
Oh,
goodness.
and her father goes, "We got to take her to the hospital. We've got to take her to the hospital." And I go, "Didn't you call the ambulance?" And he goes, "I can't because I did have some beer and I don't want to get in trouble." So
Oh, my God.
so I took my Jeep. I actually literally drove her to the hospital. And then they interrogated me. They put me in a room. And then they
You were
wouldn't let
shocked
me.
by that?
Huh?
You were shocked by that?
Oh, hell yeah. I kind of
No, you
was.
walked in with a baby with a swollen head.
No. Well, I got her care and they asked me if I was home. They arrested the father. He was down at the
Yeah.
station. All right. So they arrested him. And then I saw her life flighted, like I said. They wouldn't let me leave the hospital, to go to the other hospital. They made me stand there. They put their arms on my shoulder, and then the cop's like, "You're not going anywhere." And I saw my baby, fly, and that was probably, I don't know, like maybe 20 miles on a
oh,
life
wow.
flight. Yeah. And
Wow.
so when I get there, I'm greeted by 2 social workers, a cop, and, this and that. And then I was told I cannot stay with my baby. And I go, "What do you mean I can't stay with my baby? I thought parents are allowed to stay with the baby. I just came home from work." You know, it's her first thing. She's only 2 months.
Right.
And yeah, 2 months. And so they said, "Well, you got to make an appointment." And then they had this team meeting and they said, "You can't stay here." They sent me home at 9 o'clock. And they said, "You're not going to stay here." But they let my sister stay. So I
Oh, that's
felt
good.
okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
then I come back and they treated me like I was a stranger. They're like, they gave me all these rules like, "You're just a visiting person. You could only be in here with a social worker." And see, I didn't know that thing. So I came there before the social worker got there. And so I kind of
Yeah.
got an hour before they came.
Yeah.
And I kind of got in trouble by them. And then they had, like I said, they called it a team meeting. That's another thing I'll tell you guys out there, that they have these things called team meetings. They do this with I don't know if they did it with your case, Darren, but before they made any choices, they had like a social worker, their supervisor, the other one. Then if the doctor wanted to come, I think the nurse came. And then I had what do you call it? I guess they appointed an attorney to me, and they said they couldn't come at that team meeting. And they wanted me to sign for her to get a discovery operation, which she really didn't need, a brain operation.
Right.
But she really didn't need it because I had pictures how beautiful she looked. And then I said in the team meeting, "Well, can I get a different what do you call it,
Opinion.
referrals?"
Yeah.
Right? So I called 2 other doctors. They agreed with me that she didn't even need the operation, but since DCFS was involved, they pushed for the surgery. And so so she got a surgery. And then that day after that, they picked up my 4-year-old son. So I lost him too. And they got him to say that that his stepfather threw a golf ball at him. But I checked him before I left to even go to the hospital. But that story came up after. They just wanted kind of like a reason. It's like, what did did anything happen to him. So they wanted to say both kids were abused. But then I kind of got off the hook because I was at work. But then they said that Will tried to call me at work, and that's what they put in their papers, you know, and stuff. And then I came home one day, and there was a warrant on my thing that they said, we're picking up your son, you know, and that's when I lost him forever. Basically, they were sent to my mom's.
Did
My
I do
mom
that?
was with my sister, huh? Darren, what?
Oh, I don't know what
Hello?
Mike had said. He had asked if he had done that. I don't know what
Are you
Mike
guys
said. I
still
was
there?
listening to you.
No,
Yeah,
no,
we're here.
I'm sorry. I was just trying to see if you guys could hear me because it didn't sound like I could hear you.
Yeah, no, we're all right. We're here.
All right.
Margaret, yeah, so finish up there about you lost your son, right?
Right. You know the whole story. Now he's 17, but that day I lost both of them, of course, because they kept custody from her being in the hospital, being released here.
Now you
And
never
then
saw them after that point, right? That was it. They were
well,
taken away and
actually,
you
what
were
happened
CPR?
that case happened in October, okay? And then I didn't get visits all of October. I didn't see him again till December, before like Christmas. The second week in December was my first visit with them both. And then after that, they told like my sister and my mom the rules that I can't come over. I can't have any contact with them. And then I worked for the arenas. I worked for the Jazz, and I worked for the Bees. And they put in 2 social workers at my jobs to like watch me. And they made me feel like I couldn't work where there was kids. They kept me from working at any McDonald's that had a playland. I couldn't work anywhere that they had a playland. I couldn't work in stores. They put like all these conditions on me. So, I mean, it's like a weird thing, you know, because they knew there were so much holes in my cases that I could sue them pretty bad. I don't know. That's why I kept asking Davis if, you know, I can still sue him, because there was so many holes in my case. They knew if I got a bankroll of money, you know, I could have ended this tragedy a long time ago.
Yeah.
And then I barely found you guys a year ago, actually in March, the first time I was listening to Cynthia. And I didn't even know, because I was having this feeling because my daughter was turning 14, and in the state of Utah it says you can get your kids back even if they got adopted, if their adoptions didn't, you know, if there's something happened, you know, in the adoptions. And the thing is, they gave my son back to my sister. So the original people that adopted him together gave my son away. So that was a bridge into, you know, me trying to get my daughter back at 14. So that's the law in Utah. So right now, I mean, so anyway, I was looking through CPS things, and then Cynthia, I kind of said hi or something on our live show, and she answered back. I'm like, oh, great, this is live. And then, you know, how I always like enter like little things. And so finally, Cynthia was talking to, you know, me most of the time on there. So then that's how I got kind of started. That's how I found you guys. It was kind of like, you know, a godsend for me, really. I'm just trying to get some money, because every time you guys, when you were talking about almost wanting to kill yourself with a bullet, my first thought was I wanted to just drive to Wendover. It's 120 miles away from where I live, from Salt Lake. That's a gambling town, if you guys don't know. And then because I used to go there periodically, you know, just to gamble. And somebody goes, come on, just move here. You don't have kids anymore. Just move here. And then so the day that the gavel went down and said, you know, that they're being adopted, and I didn't put in an appeal. I just jumped in the car and just drove, 100 miles an hour, my state of life. And lucky I did, because like I also write on your guys' thing that the FBI and
You're
stuff.
a great participant. We see you all the time.
Huh?
I said you're a great participant, and we enjoy seeing you here. And it's really great that you can come on here and share your story with us, so people
So
can see
now
that.
a little bit of like the truth. Like,
Yeah,
that's why I kind of keep trying to give you little bits and pieces of my story,
yeah.
and stuff.
No,
And
we treat it very seriously, and we thank you very much for coming out and doing this,
yeah,
because this lets everybody know that they're not alone. And there's a lot of people that were similar to your situation and that have gone through it, and they need they need people like you out there to know that, to be made it known that they're not by themselves, and there are people that are willing to help if they need it. So thank you for that, Margaret, very much.
and
You've
then
And
been
everybody, and everybody learns from everybody. I mean, don't think
Mhm.
that, I mean, you may have said one thing that just clicked for somebody, so just,
yeah.
I mean,
That's
everybody
right.
learns from somebody.
Yeah. And then back on the story, when in Wendover, there was these two FBI agents. They both kind of protected me and didn't protect me, but when I was kind of in that downward spiral wanting to kill myself, one of the agents go, "I'll take you to Oregon and you can meet my mother, live with my mother, da 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 da, we'll get married." The other one said, "I'll take you to Reno," and basically the same thing. And then my mom's like, "Don't go, don't go." And then the day that I left Utah and I got a job in Wendover, Sammy, I mean, my older son came back, and so my mom called me and said, could I, come up, after work? And they go, "We got a surprise for you." And when I opened the car, he was in the car. And he came
Oh,
home.
wow, sweet.
The people that adopted him, they sent him on a plane all the way from Wisconsin. And that's where my daughter is right now, supposedly in Wisconsin. So, I mean, I know
Good.
where they are, where she is, but I haven't had any contact with her since she was 2. Because DCFS was waiting until she got to be that age so they could, take him away from me. So from 2
Right.
months until 2, and then they gunned at 2. You know what I mean?
So
Yeah.
you're
Well,
pretty much
Margaret.
you're pretty much at the stage of suing everybody afterwards, right?
Yeah, but see what
Oh
I'm
yeah,
afraid.
she's gonna.
Yeah, but see, I can. But what I'm afraid is, like David says, get your daughter back first. I want to get her back. I don't want the money. You know what I mean? I want her back.
Good for you.
I
It's
mean,
very
I
cool
want,
of you.
but I got to find the little strategy to get my daughter back. So when I listen to you guys, and by the way, congratulations with you, Case.
Thank you very
Mike.
much. Appreciate it.
He's got,
It's amazing. So don't stop fighting, because I mean, ask Darren. I gave up. I really did. I gave up.
You
I was
did.
broke. I was a dead man. I mean, I had nothing left. I really did. And within 2 weeks,
Something
my
like
daughter,
that. Yes,
my
sir.
daughter is sitting next to me. I mean, that's just wild.
Yep.
Just
yeah,
wild how it just turns all of a sudden. So
yeah.
So
don't
that should
stop.
give everybody
Don't
hope.
stop.
But Margaret, thank you so much for coming on and giving us an update. Keep watching.
Thank you.
Keep us updated.
Yeah.
Let's go get those kids back.
Get that
Yeah,
baby girl.
thank you,
Get that baby
guys.
girl back.
All right. Thank you. We'll talk to you soon, Margaret. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Ooh, all right. Margaret, man, I'll tell you what, that woman's a trooper. She's been through a lot in the system, and a lot of things that she's done is obviously, we all make poor decisions and bad decisions, but she's still, regardless, that's a woman who cares. She loves her kids, and she's trying to do anything she can to remedy it and get those kids back in her life. And she's just as much of a story for hope as you, Mike, for sure.
Yeah. But
So
I need at least a minute on air because I need to apologize for somebody, or to some people.
yeah.
One of the side effects of dealing with CPS or DSS or DHS is you get to have, I call flashbacks. I mean, people that are, I mean, sincerely innocent. Like I had actually a good friend. I actually adore this young man. And he's actually a pretty good kid. I like him. And we're at his mother's house. And he said something about my daughter. I mean, he corrected me on what I was saying to my daughter. And I mean, I ain't kidding. Both of us are, I mean, we're both big men. Both of us jumped up and it was like two giants. I cocked back, and if it wasn't for the mother standing in the middle, I probably would have threw the swing. But I wanted to apologize for both of them because it's not your fault. I'm just dealing with this DSS, you know, where everybody's out to get me and everybody's correcting me and everybody is judging me. So, Anthony, I'm sorry, brother. I did not mean that. Cindy, I did not mean to do that in your house. I apologize for that. You know, I love you guys. You guys have been my support system, and I apologize. I really do. You know, I did the same thing. I went to Walgreens, and my daughter was walking behind me today because I had her all day today. She was walking behind me. I was buying her some barrettes, and one of the cashiers walked out and saw her walking down the hallway by herself, and she come out and she was like, I mean, surprised there was a little girl walking down the hallway or aisle by herself. And I gave her this look like, you need to get a life and get the hell out of my face. And I mean, I must have scared her because I mean, she jumped back in the aisle she was in. But, you know, I call it PTSD from CPS.
You're dang right. It's true. That's truth.
You know, they just make you so paranoid that everybody's out to get you and that every little comment is just meant to, you know, throw you under the bus or whatever, or run you over or whatever it is. So, I mean, those folks right there, they didn't deserve what I gave them today. And I wanted to apologize. And that's all I wanted to do. I mean, it wasn't nothing, you know, where you had to black out, brother. I appreciate it though.
Yeah. I was still here with you. You know that.
I know. I can hear you. But yeah, I just wanted to apologize to them because I mean, I stepped way over the line. I disrespected their home. I disrespected them. And it was all just instinct. And it was about my daughter. You know, it was about my daughter. It was innocent as day long, you know. I mean, nothing harmful with that.
You have to figure, man, that you've just gone through 8 months of pure hell of having your daughter removed for something as simple as you just wanting to get a hug. And you know what it feels like to have that gem removed now. And you'll be damned if someone's going to do that again, no matter who it is. You know,
it's a trauma. It is really a trauma.
It's totally a trauma. And these people, all of us that have been involved in this stuff, you know, should seek some counseling or some help or something to get through it. If you're not already doing it, I highly suggest it because this isn't a little event that takes place in your life.
Speaking of counseling, did you hear Mr. Davis the other night?
Yeah, he's in counseling.
Yeah, but did you hear the time frame?
No, what was his time frame?
The time frame was about exactly when he hired me. Figure that one out.
Oh, maybe you got into his head.
Either that or just pushed him over the edge. One of the two.
Yeah, he just couldn't take it anymore after you.
I just broke the camel's back.
Yeah. But man, it is, you know, people, you know, if you feel sad, you feel hurt, you feel this stuff, you know, reach out to a suicide hotline. If you're going to the bottle or you're going through drugs or something, reach out to a counselor. You know, this is very hard for everybody. And, you know, no family wants to lose another family member, even though you lost the child. Like, don't stack up on another one on your family members because they still got to be here too. So, you know, none of you guys are in this alone. If you're feeling like you got to use in that way or you got to do something bad to yourself, please, please, please reach out for some help because it's there for you. And everybody understands, or at least we understand. And we parents, and I say that in a wholesome way, that we parents who have been through this and are going through this understand. You know, if you need to call someone, call us, call someone. Don't do this alone. You can't do it alone. And you're not alone. So
and you don't
please.
have to do it alone, because there's people out. I mean, and it was. I mean, here's my proof right here.
Yeah.
But I mean, I got on the show and actually talked to Mr. Davis and Darren, and I think Deidre was on that show.
Yeah, I believe so.
These people saved my life. So because I was broke, I was done. I ain't kidding. I couldn't fight anymore if I wanted to. And they gave me a whole different reason. They gave me a whole different outlook. They gave me my own show. I mean, with Darren, they don't dare give me by myself. I mean, they know I'd cross the line way too much, but so Darren comes and babysits me. But but no, I mean, so they're life-saving people. There's people out there that are paying attention, and I'm known as a joker. I'm known as the funny guy, you know. And I don't know what Mr. Davis saw or what you guys saw in me, but y'all look past the funny guy, you know. You guys look past you look past my facade. You know, you saw past it, and you saw whatever you saw, and you gave me a job. You gave me something to talk about. You know, you gave me something to fight for. You know, I got my daughter back, and I'm still here. I mean, I'm not going nowhere. I'm helping as many people as I can to get their kids back.
That's right, Mike. Speaking of that, tomorrow we got how many hours till tomorrow? Let's see, what time is it now?
It's
11 o'clock here.
11 o'clock, yeah.
So what do we got? 18 hours? Is that right?
18 hours, yeah. For our show?
18 hours till Men in Trenches is back.
The
I think
Men in
Dr.
Trenches.
Fowler will be on with us tomorrow again, and we're going to try to get Herbert again. Yeah, it's good stuff. We had a great show last week. I mean, I know you were with your daughter and everything, but we had a really good show.
And I appreciate you covering for me. I mean, I had to spend the day with my daughter.
Yeah. Our boy Corey, he was already on here. He reached out to us earlier. This guy that we had on the show was excellent. If you guys didn't see it, you should check it out. He's also he's a dad that stopped at nothing to get his child back. Check out the show. You can check it out, Mr. Davis's reruns. Oh, good. So Corey's going to be on for us for tomorrow too. So that's great. That's going to be awesome. We'll have a good thing. This guy's really knowledgeable. What's that?
Do I know Corey?
No, he was the one that when me and Dr. Fowler did Wednesday. So definitely check that out, because this guy's full of knowledge. And you guys, if you're going to watch the show tomorrow, come at us with a bunch of questions. We're going to be ready to rock and roll, but I'm beat. And Mike's going to go dance around in his underwear in the living room. So
I'm going to go do the happy dance. Yeah,
you are. So see you guys tomorrow. Grace, send us out of here.
Out of here, baby girl. See y'all later.
Have a good night, Mike.
Bye. Have a good one, brother. Stay warm up there in the Maine. It's getting cold up there, isn't it?
Yes, sir. I got my furry underwear on. See you tomorrow, bud.
All right. See you. Peace.